Indonesia's power sector is undergoing a massive shift. Anchored by PLN and historically dependent on coal, the grid supports a growing trillion-dollar economy. However, to reach high-income status by 2045, electricity demand is surging. The challenge is balancing this massive growth with urgent decarbonization. While coal still dominates over 60% of generation, fueled by exports and industrial captive power, the pressure to change is intensifying. Natural gas is stepping in as a critical transition fuel, while renewables are being integrated to diversify the energy supply. The ultimate goal is clear: transforming from a fossil fuel giant into a sustainable net zero leader for the region. Indonesia's renewable energy potential is among the highest in the world, yet it remains largely untapped. The technical potential across solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal is estimated at over 3.7 terawatt, of which only 0.3% is currently utilized. Geothermal energy, the baseload promise. Housing approximately 40% of the world's geothermal reserves, Indonesia views geothermal energy as a key baseload alternative to coal. The Law No. 21 of 2014 and the Omnibus Law, Law No. 6 of 2023, have reclassified geothermal as a non-mining activity, streamlining licensing for projects in protected forest areas. Current capacity is roughly 2.6 gigawatt, but the technical potential reaches 28.5 gigawatt. Major players such as Star Energy Geothermal, SEG, and Medco Power operate large-scale units like Wayang Windu and Sarula, while PLN aims to add 5.2 GW of geothermal by 2034. Solar and wind, the next frontier. Solar energy potential stands at a staggering 3,294 gigawatt peak, yet grid-connected solar was only 625 megawatt by early 2024. To address this, the RUPTL 2025-2034 targets between 13.4 gigawatt and 17.1 gigawatt of new solar capacity. This push is supported by the emergence of domestic solar manufacturing hubs in central Java and the Riau Islands. Wind energy potential is concentrated in eastern Indonesia, Maluku, and South Sulawesi, with a total potential of 155.6 gigawatt. While currently holding a negligible share of generation, the RUPTL targets 7.2 gigawatt of wind capacity by 2034, focusing on regions with strong wind profiles like Sidrap and Jeneponto. Hydropower and microhydro. Hydropower potential is estimated at 94 gigawatt, with 75 gigawatt from large-scale sources. The Cayenne and Mentarang rivers in Kalimantan alone represent 13 gigawatt of potential, which could be connected to Java or used to power smelters in Sulawesi via new transmission lines. In 3T remote regions, microhydro, 19 gigawatt potential, is a critical tool for rural electrification, saving PLN billions in diesel costs. Indonesia's power grid is modernizing. The current fragmented system is shifting to a unified supergrid to connect renewable sources in Sumatra to demand in Java. This supergrid strategy uses high-voltage direct current links to transmit clean energy across islands with minimal loss. Smart grid technologies are essential. They balance variable solar and wind energy in real time to maintain stability. Rural electrification is also expanding. Innovations like super sun microgrids are bringing 24/7 power to remote islands. Governed by PLN and the Ministry of Finance, the sector is attracting investment through new flexible regulations for independent power producers. This is the future of Indonesia's energy infrastructure. The regulatory environment for the power industry is undergoing its most significant change since the 2007 Energy Law. Presidential Regulation 112/2022 is the game changer for renewable energy, introducing a ceiling price system that decouples renewable tariffs from the coal-dominated BPP. Under the new regime, tariffs are determined by technology and location factors, F, ensuring that projects in remote areas with higher costs remain viable. In addition to the ceiling price, PR 112/2022 provides fiscal incentives such as tax holidays, up to 20 years, import duty exemptions, and accelerated depreciation. However, the new and renewable energy EBET bill, which would provide a more robust statutory framework, remains stalled in Parliament as of late 2025. The bill is controversial because it includes new energy sources like coal gasification and liquefaction, which critics argue do not align with the spirit of the green transition. Indonesia's commitment to achieving net zero emissions, NZE, by 2060 is underpinned by the Just Energy Transition Partnership, JATP, and the Energy Transition Mechanism, ETM. The JATP aims to mobilize $20 billion, with $10 billion coming from the International Partners Group, IPG, led by the U.S. and Japan. The partnership models a scenario where the power sector's emissions are capped at 290 moti CO2 by 2030. However, achieving this requires an average of $16.1 billion in annual renewable financing, whereas current tracked finance is only around $2.7 billion per year. The early retirement of coal plants has proven more difficult than anticipated. The 660 MW Cirebon 1 plant was initially a test case for early retirement, but the plan was scrapped in late 2025 due to high replacement costs, estimated at $1.3 billion, and massive penalties of $3.8 billion that PLN would have to pay to IPP owners. This setback has shifted the focus toward phase down rather than early retirement, with the 2025 JET-TP Progress Report lowering the target for early coal retirement from 5.5 GWh to just 1.6 GWh. Captive coal capacity, particularly in the nickel processing sector, remains a major hurdle. Nickel is critical for the EV battery supply chain, yet its processing in Indonesia is one of the most carbon-intensive in the world. To mitigate this, the JATP recommends industrial clustering, co-deploying 9.4 GW of solar capacity with existing aging captive plants, and introducing green nickel branding to attract climate-sensitive investors. As Indonesia seeks to diversify its energy sources, nuclear power and regional electricity exports are emerging as pivotal components of the 2030-plus strategy. The RPITL 2025-2034 officially integrates nuclear energy into the national mix, with the first nuclear power plant targeted for 2034. The government plans to utilize small modular reactor, SMR technology, which is better suited for Indonesia's regional grids. Russia and Canada have submitted formal proposals for collaboration, while Indonesia is drafting regulations for radioactive mining to exploit its 24,012 tons of uranium deposits in Malawi. Despite the small initial share, nuclear is seen as a critical long-term baseload solution to achieve carbon neutrality. Indonesia is poised to become a major exporter of green energy through the ASEAN Power Grid Initiative. Singapore's Energy Market Authority has granted conditional licenses to import low-carbon electricity. These projects, primarily based in the Riau Islands, represent an investment of over $20 billion and will require the development of extensive subsea HVDC cables. This trade not only helps Singapore meet its net zero goals, but also stimulates the development of Indonesia's domestic solar manufacturing and battery storage industries. The Indonesian power industry is at a pivotal crossroads. The fundamental challenge remains the fossils first, renewables later approach, front-loading fossil capacity while delaying renewables. Success depends on critical factors: financial sustainability of PTPLN, government support, and completing supergrid interconnections to unlock renewable potential. Furthermore, the regulatory loophole allowing expansion of captive coal in the nickel industry must be addressed through compliance-based carbon pricing and green industrial policies. As Indonesia navigates this transition, integrating SMR nuclear and fulfilling export contracts will define the nation's energy sovereignty. The journey toward a fossil-free and self-sufficient energy future by 2040 remains a Herculean task requiring seamless coordination of policy, finance, and engineering.